Hey guys, good morning everyone. It's December 28th, 2020, and it's 12:19 in the morning. I'd like to greet everyone a belated Merry Christmas and advance Happy New Year. I hope you had a great um, family day during Christmas, and I'm wishing everyone a really healthier 2021 and wealthier 2021 for all of us. Okay, so welcome to our video tonight. This is Miss JD for another episode of our daily stock market insights. Just want to make sure we are all prepared for tomorrow's action. It's going to be the second to the last day before the year ends and before the market ends this year. So uh, December 28th and December 29th, there's still market day, but 30th and the 31st, it's going to be a holiday. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. If this is the first time to watch my video, guys, I'm inviting you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always updated whenever I have new videos. And yeah, let's get started. How does our index look like? Well, our index had experienced has experienced some difficulties the past 2 days. This was the 22nd and the 23rd. We almost had a breakdown in the price, but we managed to recover before the day ended. Same thing here on the 23rd. We were attempting to sell some more, but for some reason the market also recovered the same day. So what I'm thinking is that there is a possibility that our MA20 line will be holding at this point because well at this point we have a lot of news around the situation of the country, particularly well, it's a double-edged sword. One, on the other hand, there's this new variant in the COVID-19 virus that's spreading around, right? But the silver lining is that the vaccines are already in place in some other countries, but I'm sure the government is already in coordination with some providers. I know they had some hiccups with Pfizer. Moderna, on the other hand, also had some good collaboration with the government, but it's gonna come out on the third week of 2021. So at least there's a sign that we now have a supplier for the vaccines uh, to serve the Filipino people. So I think at least comparing it with what happened back in March, this time around, there's hope that we are somehow going to recover sooner compared to what happened back in March. So, given that that's the situation right now, I don't think that the market is going to crash the same level as what we had here before. If it is going to, if it is going to decline, that could be probably that could be the reason could be just because of some companies taking out or doing some rebalancing before the year ends and start fresh come new year, right? So there could be lot of reasons that could influence a breakdown in the price. But definitely one thing I can say is that if it is going to break down, I don't think it is going to dip significantly. Probably the lowest it could drop would be the 6,927 level. But overall, weighing things, we already learned. We had a lot of learnings from March to this point in 2020. So I think we will be able to manage things even if there's a new strain or a new variance in the virus. It wasn't actually the first time because a few months back they said that the Philippines has a unique I don't know what term to use, but we our the type of virus that we have here is has a much stronger. I don't know what term to use here, but we have a unique strain here. So it's not a first time that we've heard about it. We've heard that kind of news here in the country as well, and despite that, we still manage the situation. Okay, enough about that. But let us go ahead and so okay, guys. So my 2 cents here is that MA20 uh, will most likely hold. If it is going to drop, the lowest point would be 6,927. Okay, so let's talk about the highly traded stocks that we had back last week. Last trading day was the 23rd. Dito um, had a good solid green over here with 13,000 foreign buying. So yeah, I just feel like we are going to have a continuation for Dito, given that we don't even have a wick right here. So it was all the way up. When we ended the day the 23rd. See this? So there's a big chance that we will see some continuation for this stock. I'd say around 8.11. This one over here. But there is also one over here. But given that there's foreign buying and then we broke out of the 844 somehow, not totally yet. On a weekly chart, we're already triggering that level, so there's a big chance that we can continue moving up some more. Okay, so promising days ahead for Dito because we have a good catalyst for this stock. I'm not going to plot any resistance levels as of yet because I'm seeing some significant moves in the coming days for Dito. Let's use 8.44 as our nearest support. Acen. So for me, this is so when is their SRO? January 8th. I'm thinking we are just going to. There's not a lot of big moves for the stock anymore. It is just most likely. I don't see, um, and like before, you have big jumps here. I'm thinking it's just going to stabilize here up to the 8 peso level, and then come SRO day, chances are those people who are when I say SRO day, the X date, okay, I think it's January 8th. The X date for ASEN is January 8th. So those people who are just merely trading the stock will most likely exit their positions around that date. And next would be a retracement to happen. I'm not sure how big of a drop it will take, but I'm thinking around this level because we had some consolidation that happened right here. So maybe around. So um, I'm just pegging it at 8 because it's a whole number, but um, there's no resistance to compare it with. But my take on this is that we are not going to go that far anymore. Okay, so especially we're on the last 2 days of the year. Second would be the kind of candlestick that we have right here. So if it is going to go up, I'm pegging it at around 8 peso level. And look at this, we're also at the overbought level. So in case there will be some more push, chances are it will just stabilize right here, and then come SRO day, it will just decline. Probably go back to the MA20 line. So that's my conservative outlook there. But overall, for those who are going to take advantage of the SRO, I think the offer price is around 2.74 if I'm not mistaken, around 2 peso level. This is still a good deal for you if you're going to hold ASEN for long term. This is Ayala, right? This is owned by the Ayala company. So we believe in how Ayala manages their companies. So I think we're in good hands if you are to look at it for long term, mid to long term purposes. BDO for me is, well, we've been climbing up significantly, but I'm looking at BDO definitely for mid to long term, and this is just a retracement. And I'm thinking with the doji that we have right here, I'm thinking it is just going to stabilize right at this level. probably around this area, 104, or even to the 100 level. If it is going back here at the 100 peso area, that's fine, and it's a good area to add some more volume. Consider the bigger picture for BDO. As you can see, we still are at the very low levels of this stock with really good fundamentals. One of the blue chip companies in the country. So I think it's just overall market sentiment. It goes with what the index is experiencing because BDO, um, BDO, JFC, these are the stocks. There are 30 companies that comprise the index. So if the index is having some difficulties accelerating in the price, chances are our blue chip companies are also experiencing the same. So for me, if it is going to retrace for BDO around 104, and then lowest drop could be 100 peso area. And by that time, that will be a good price level to add some more volume. Let's check out Mart. Mart, what I'd like to do here is probably I'd like to create a Darvas box in this level. So there's an accumulation or it's just moving sideways at this level. So if you'd like to do a range, if you'd like to range trade this stock, so this will be your support, this will be your resistance, and outright could give you a around 11% gain. So what you can probably do here is the safest would be you wait for a breakout. At least it's consolidating very near your resistance area. And what we're waiting here would be, of course, good volume that will support the lift in the price. So slowly, if you notice, you are also experiencing some good volume here. And take note, guys, our Bollinger Band is starting to become constricted. So I'm thinking if it's going to do some push here in the upper band, and we have one official candlestick that will end outside of this rectangular box, then that's a breakout play. That's a much better entry. Comparing it with the two outlook here, I know support could be a good entry, but it's not looking good, especially when you're accumulating here above. Because what will most likely happen is the chances of it triggering the lower band. If it starts triggering the lower band, then you will have a breakdown in the price. So between the two, the much safer outlook here is you wait for it to break out of this box. That way, we can already say that there's a bullish momentum happening for Mart. SECB, I think SECB has already bounced, but 4.68% increase, that could already be a significant lift in the price. So maybe what you can do here is try to haggle if the market gives you a chance between 131 to 138. That would be a much better entry. But for now, given that this green candlestick, this is an engulfing candlestick. Okay, so once I see this, chances are we will have a continuation to the upside. Imagine this. This has declined for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight days of red. So with the green engulfing and somewhere at the MA20 line, that's a good sign because the MAs are strong indicators. If you're moving higher than the MA, then chances are we're going to bounce at that level. So we are using an MA20 in our Bollinger Band, so that the possibility of having a continuation would be high. BPI. BPI for me, I'd say I'd like to stay on the sidelines for now because as you see here, our MA20 is currently higher than the price that we are in at the moment. So the moving average this time is acting as a resistance, contrary to what we have here. We're higher than the MA. So this is now acting as a support. Now this one over here is acting as a resistance. So um, what I can say here is that maybe wait for a confirmation of a bounce, and this is not yet a bounce for me. Maybe I'd say the next support I'm looking at would be around the 79 level. So if there is some breakdown that will happen, try to observe what the action is around the 79.37 area. So this is our next possible support that we'd like to observe. But again, looking at the bigger picture, there is still some room for the price to go even higher. So if you'd like to accumulate, wait for a few pesos and do some test buys here. Hopefully we bounce right here, but in case it drops, then at least you reserve some of your buying power to purchase it at a much lower price. And this is the stock that I won't hesitate doing some cost averaging, because it's again one of the more stable companies in the country. JFC also retraced, but interesting, we have a doji right here. So let us see if we will recover right away. Maybe this is another example of what happened here, because we had a slight overshoot down below the MA20. Let's see if it will recover. Otherwise, I'm plotting a support at this area first, and then in case it drops some more, I think this would be an area next. Okay, so 193 and 185. So another stable company in the country. There's still a lot of room for this price to recover someday. But I'm telling you guys, if you're a mid to long term holder of this stock, because of what we are experiencing right now, though I don't expect for it to recover in a linear manner. We'll experience a lot of fluctuation, so be prepared for that. If you're new in the stock market, this is a normal thing. It is a normal reaction that after a while, after a few weeks of showing bullish movements, then people are just locking in their profits, and chances are it will decline. Now you have to remind yourself, why are you entering in this stock? And if you're also happy with your profit, you can do take some profit and sell some of your shares. So it all depends on what your plans are. So it's really best that you have some game plans when you're entering in a stock. AGI also managed to bounce. Okay, there's still some potential here. What's the maximum? Oh, if you were to look at it, at one point, it even, back in 2014, it even reached the 30 peso level. Okay, so I don't expect that it is going to reach that high that quick. So let's use our 10 peso level as our nearest support. This one, sorry, 1041. That's our MA20 line. So I like this candlestick, that candlestick, because that means we managed to bounce at the MA20 level. 1041, that's an area of bounce. So anywhere from that level to 11 peso, that's still a good level to do some test buys. Okay, so again, that is addressed to our mid to long term holders, because we're looking at the bigger picture here. There's still some room for this stock to move even higher, and AGI is also one of the more stable companies in the index. So just expect that, given that we have already bounced significantly here, there could be a possibility that we might be reaching the next possible resistance. And I'm thinking it would be around the 1160 area. Okay, So 1041 to 1172 if you're just merely trading it. Let's say you are able to enter around 1070. That will give you around 9% gain. What if you enter around 1084? That's a 7% gain. But definitely there's a resistance around that level. So it's up to you if you want to hold onto this stock much longer. There will be resistance levels along the way, but overall, if you're to look at the bigger picture, then definitely there's a big potential for the stock as well. Okay, URC also managed to bounce, although volume-wise, it's not that significantly high as of yet. So I'd say I'd hold on to the idea that MA20 will still be our bounce area at this point. So I don't know if it is going to be instant that we are going to recover right away, or we're going to have some sideways first before we move higher. But definitely I'm looking at 150 peso level as our newest support. GTCAP. GTCAP looks like this is a bounce. Okay. This area over here is a support for GTCAP, and we revisited that level, and now we have a green. Although, so this is also your resistance here. 576, guys, that would be our nearest support. If you are to measure it using your Fibonacci retracement tool, let us see. I'm going to remove this. Okay. Look at the weekly chart. Oops. On a weekly chart, actually, your Fibonacci tool, the Fibonacci retracement tool measures your bounce area. 597. Go back to your weekly. Oh, exactly the area where it is at right now. So that's a possible area of bounce. Then the next one would be around 546 level. So you just have to do that while the stock is moving higher. So you start plotting at the bottom and then move up. Wait, because on a daily chart, okay, let's use a wick. Let's use a wick, and then let's use the wick as here as well. Because if you are going to use the wick, that means use the wick here down below. That means you also have to include the wick up here. And then you go to the daily chart. Yeah, still the same. Okay, but at least we already included the wick up there. So this is your support, 584 level. Yeah, 584 area. That's the first area of bounce. Second possible area would be the 529. Okay, so overall for GTCAP, also another stock in the index that has dropped tremendously, and then we're starting to recover. And this is just the usual fluctuation that we are experiencing on our way up. MBT also managed to bounce. Overall, this stock, same as GTCAP, we have declined significantly, and we're recovering. And looks like we might see some stabilization around the 49.46 level. And hopefully we will have some continuation going up, but if in case it is going to revisit the 49.46, still a good level for me to enter 49.46, because we're looking at the bigger picture here. There's still some more some room for the stock to move even higher, and if in case it takes some time before it moves up, then you can take advantage of the regular dividends that the stock is also giving out. Don't expect too much, guys. So this one, how many times have they released for this year? Maybe around twice. Maybe twice this year, right? 2 pesos. So it's just around 2%. You can just complete that. Cebu Pacific. Okay. Cebu Pacific also had a good bounce at the MA20 line. So I'm thinking we will have some continuation going up for this stock. So that's nice. But at any time we get some opportunity whereby a stock declines within your intraday time frame, then good area would be around the 51 peso level. Overall, yes, look at that. You're just halfway, not even halfway, before we can reach the top. But don't expect for the airline companies to recover really quickly, because it's been almost a year that they were struggling. They were badly hit during this pandemic. So slowly they are recovering, but it will take some time. 51 peso level, so just be prepared emotionally that once you start engaging in these stocks, it will take some time. Unless you want to go day trading, right? Then you can take advantage of the small gains. Traders, normally they have good capital, meaning big capital, and 1 or less than 10% gain is already going to create a big impact in the revenue. That's why like 5%, 7% gain, they exit their trades because of the volume that they have in every position. But especially for the beginners and those who don't have big portfolio or big amounts in their portfolio, then and also those who are working, my recommendation really would be to go position trading. Try to look at stocks with good fundamentals, but the technicals are saying that they've been badly hit. Okay, this one is a mix for me. Of course, their finances were badly affected during the pandemic, and they're slowly recovering. Revenue-wise, they've been really they've declined significantly. So that could be a major influencer in your decision too. PHA. What's interesting here is that it is accumulating up here. Okay, so it's like there is momentum, and then at one point it's just resting and then move up again. So I'm thinking it's repeating this pattern over here. You had this consolidation phase, and then it moves up, and then consolidate again. Then chances are it will move higher and higher. So for me, 0.99 would still be a good area to do some test buys there. Let us see if it will continue to move up. Okay, so guys, just take note that the objective, by the way, of why I'm doing this is just for me to document my thoughts. And most of the time, I would just do technical analysis because in some of these stocks, I'm not able to check out the news or their finances. Once in a while, I would open some news about these stocks, then I would include it in my discussion. But in case I don't, my technicals would negate the fundamentals, then you have to also make that judgment whether to go with the recommendation of what the news is, or the possible outcome based on the news that you have read or the financial health of the business, comparing it with technicals. Because sometimes even if the technicals are showing promising setup, but because the news today could potentially harm the performance the next day, in some cases the fundamentals would win the situation and decline can happen, and vice versa. Okay. Let me see. Converge. Converge also declined significantly here, but um, 2 days in a row around the 15 peso level, you have a bounce that's happening right there. So that could be a good sign. We might experience a recovery at that point. So let's observe what happens around the 15.06. We might see some stabilization happening or consolidation happening at that level as well. ICT. ICT, I would have to say be a little careful uh, with this stock because I'm seeing some lower highs at this point. But let me also use this. Okay. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at. You are experiencing some lower highs, but we're also seeing some higher lows. So let us see which area will it break first. If it breaks your resistance level, that means you will have a possible breakout play, um, giving us some bullish moves. But if it breaks this support, because this currently is your resistance up here, and this is your support. So if it goes down below, then you have a breakdown in the price. Then there might be some movements going down at that point. But you can try to observe which side it is going to uh, move tomorrow or up until the next day. Ali, we're sitting at a possible resistance. As you can see, that is a resistance level. Several days now we've been hitting this price area, but we're having some difficult time breaking it. Unless we go start higher than 41.93, then that's a different story. You have a breakout play. Okay, so try to watch out and see the price action by tomorrow and in the 28th and the 29th. Okay, but at this point, this is what I see: resistance, and then this is your support, which is very near your MA20 line. So let's see. Overall, if you're to look at it, we're halfway. We're halfway there. So maybe, who knows, we might see some breakdown in the price and it will give you some opportunity to catch it at a lower level, probably around the 38, 39 area. If in case it drops. So try to catch it right there. But it's a different story if resistance is going to be broken there. I think that is it for this evening, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I'm reading all your comments, and you can give me feedback on how we can improve things better in our videos here. But overall, thank you for watching my videos and supporting our channel. I'd like to just do this every day. But of course, this holiday season, I took a break. Enjoyed some rest days with my family. I think the last time I recorded was back around the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Did a lot of Netflix marathon over the holiday season. Yep. So tomorrow I might be recording another one, and I'll see if I can record more stuff over the new year. In the meantime, you have a great evening and some profitable trades. Wishing you profitable trades later on today. Okay, bye bye for now.